if you're watching the live stream, you have access to a chat room. One of the questions in the chat room was, what's the deal with hard-boiled eggs? Why don't we recommend hard-boiled eggs? Well, if you cook an egg too much, if you hard-boil it too much, the yellow yolk turns gray or green or develops a gray or a green ring around it, which is a direct visual indication that the cholesterol in the yolk has been degraded and is no longer useful. So if you can hard boil an egg so that the yolk is bright yellow, you can eat it and still gain the benefits of the cholesterol. Otherwise, you're only going to get protein from the egg, and we advocate eggs for two reasons: protein and cholesterol, and cholesterol, and cholesterol. So soft scrambled in butter, soft boiled or poached is the best way to secure all of the cholesterol from an egg, which is what Paulette from Indiana's husband is going to need to do. So one of the things that prednisone does, right, is it really suppresses the immune system, and it really dampens down the body's own natural corticosteroids, cortisol being the most operative one. Is he still on prednisone, or is he taking an analog of it?
No, we are trying to get down. He's taken 2.5 milligrams 4 times a week and 5 milligrams 3 times a week, and we're coming down off of it very gradually.
Yeah.
I should also tell you that in 1990, he had a bone marrow biopsy that showed that he was making too many T cells.
Well, that would be as a result of the prednisone.
No. This was 10 years before he went on prednisone.
Too many T cells, according to who?
To a bone marrow biopsy.
Why on earth would he have? So why did they want to give him a bone marrow biopsy? Because they were trying to figure out what was causing the fevers?
Right.
Oh.
Right. And see, and I thought that it could be brucellosis, because I've known him for almost all the time that he's been sick.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have any titers for brucellosis, and so they keep telling me I'm out of sorts. But I also wonder about a fungal infection.
Well, it can be any number of things here, and this is one of the...
but the too many T cells, what does that tell us?
Well, that tells us that there's an imbalance in the body and that something isn't right in Denmark. And so when there's too many T cells, we look to the bone marrow, and when we look to the bone marrow being dysfunctional, it's usually because of a lack of calcium and a lack of sulfur-bearing molecules. Because that's what the bone marrow needs in order to be healthy. And when the bone marrow doesn't have the stuff it needs to be healthy, it starts to get funky, and the body starts to put inside the bone, where the marrow should be, connective tissue, because the body doesn't have the raw materials to make bone marrow, and so connective tissue gets laid down inside the bone, and that makes all kinds of funny things happen to red blood cell production and immune cell production. It's like throwing a wrench into a giant complex gear system. It's going to screw something up. But listen, Paulette, my heart goes out to you here, and also you need to understand there are a number of benefits to the holistic method, okay?
Well, you know what? We did control his fevers of unknown origin. We have used acupuncture. We've done the yin and yang and the hot and cold.
Well, yeah, but he's still in the woods, right?
Well, he's been stable since our MD started.
Only because he's still on the drug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But prior to that, we used chiropractic and everything, and
well, all right, so
been everywhere.
All right, well, you haven't.
And we went holistic first.
Well, all right, good, but this drives my point home. And I don't ever bring this point up on my own, because people will think I'm just too full of myself. And so I never bring this point up on my own. But I have to tell you that the problem with holistic medicine in the world is that it's underfunded. Holistic medical schools are underfunded. There's virtually no holistic medical research that's happening because there's no money in that. Nobody wants to fund that type of research. Youngevity really is the only company that's doing any research on their products. A couple of other companies do, but really there's nobody doing dyed-in-the-wool, profound, holistic medical research. It just doesn't exist. And because of that, and because of the hostile political climate, that holistic physicians find themselves in. I mean, for goodness sake, I've been a licensed physician for 20 years. And the state of Illinois fined me 10 months ago $5,000 because I used the word doctor on my website. And in Illinois, you can't do that unless you're an MD. You know, so we don't have a free medical market in the United States. We don't. And it's a hostile climate for those of us involved in alternative medicine. And because of that, there aren't that many holistic physicians who have a strong background in research. There just aren't. And so you're going to go to holistic physicians and you're going to get mediocre results because that's just the nature of the beast. And every once in a while, you'll strike gold and you'll hit something that really works, right? But this is why I love Youngevity, because Youngevity is based, the therapeutics that we talk about here and the recipes that Youngevity offers are based on $25 million of federally funded research and over 3 decades of clinical experience by the world's leading expert on medical nutrition, Dr. Joel Wallach. It just doesn't get any better than that. I mean, it doesn't. Now, there are holistic physicians in the world who bring a different skill set to play than Dr. Wallach does, and that's all good. But Dr. Wallach's foundation medical nutrition stuff needs to be in place or you're just going to be spinning your wheels.
Exactly.
Okay.
See, and I came to Youngevity for the photo stuff. And
oh, yeah.
I am thrilled about, I mean, everything. So, okay, I'll shut up.
All right, so how much did your husband weigh?
Well, he's been on prednisone for 15 years. What do you think?
Yeah, over 300?
No, only 265.
Well, all right, so we're up there. Okay, good. So, number one, he has to stop eating food that's pro-inflammatory, right?
Okay.
So do you. So do I. So we've identified 10 foods that are pro-inflammatory. And you can get that list for free on my website, drglidden.com. Just scroll down on the front page until you see the link. It's called Good Food, Bad Food. So you just download that link to your computer and immediately stop eating the 10 bad foods. So he's going to have to go gluten-free.
Hey, he already is, because I am.
Okay, great. So no gluten, no wheat, barley, rye, or oats, no oil in a bottle, no fried food. You can read the list. It'll be easy for you to do, number one. Number two, he has to start salting his food so that it tastes good. And I don't care what type of salt he uses. Himalayan salt, Celtic salt, with iodine, without iodine, table salt, Morton's table salt. I would prefer it if you could find a salt that has iodine added to it.
Okay.
And he needs to salt his food so that it tastes good and not be afraid of salt. His digestive tract needs salt in order to be healthy and properly digest nutrients out of his food. All right? Number three, he needs to eat a diet that's high in cholesterol. Because all of the hormones that the prednisone is bungling and screwing up in his body are made from cholesterol. So he needs to put cholesterol back in his body in large amounts in order to help his system bounce back from, you know, the prednisone stress, right? So he needs a diet that's high in cholesterol. And don't worry, there is no relationship between high cholesterol and heart disease. It does not exist. It does not exist.
You aren't going to believe this.
What?
He had a cholesterol blood test.
Yeah.
And I was excited to see what it was, and it was only 175. And this is a man that, you know, we eat beef all the time.
Well, look, I want him to eat more because I'd like to see his total cholesterol levels be over 250.
Yeah, and seeing it was only 175, so I'm hearing what you're saying.
Okay, so he needs more cholesterol. Now, the easiest way to get cholesterol into the body is the lowly chicken egg, right?
Yeah, and we do eggs once a week at least for dinner.
Well, I want him to do 6 eggs a day.
Yeah, I know. That's going to be hard.
Well, or, you know, rare meat, chicken with the skin, turkey with the skin, butter, right? Full-fat yogurt, full-fat milk. There's a lot of ways to skin the cholesterol cat.
His wife does all that already. She's pretty into nutrition. Okay.
Well, I don't know what she's into, but he needs to be into a diet that's high in cholesterol, and I don't really care how he gets that. If he can find cholesterol in a pill, I want him to swallow it every day. I don't really care. Okay? Okay. All right. Now, the final straw in this drink is the nutritional the nutritional support that his body needs in order to optimize its structure and function. This is what I was alluding to before, and this is the miracle of the holistic method. Because at this point in time, I don't really care if it's brucellosis. I don't really care if there's a fungal infection. I don't really care if there's an unknown parasitic infection. I don't really care if it's rheumatoid arthritis at this point in time, because here's what I know. His body right now is attempting to fix itself. His body, in order to fix itself, needs raw materials. The raw materials that his body needs to fix itself are not in the food that he's eating. So we have to give him raw materials, get out of the way, and see how far back his body bounces. 3 months from now, we're going to have a much better understanding of what to do if we need to do anything extracurricular in order to get him over the final hurdle. But oftentimes, just with comprehensive foundation medical nutrition in chronic health conditions like this, I mean, it seals the deal, and the body starts firing on all 64 cylinders, and it starts working the way that nature intended it to, and all of a sudden things start to roll around in his favor instead of against his favor. So at 300 pounds, in a perfect world, the recommendation would be every month for the next 90 days, 3 months, 3 anti-aging healthy start packs, 3 anti-aging healthy start packs, 4 bottles of selenium, and that's it. 3 anti-aging healthy start packs and 4 bottles of selenium is a perfect place for him to start. Plus eliminate the 10 bad foods, plus go crazy for cholesterol. And once he's been on my program for 4 weeks, after the 4-week period, I want him to consult with a pharmacist or figure it out on his own, because it's his body, how to come off of the prednisone. And now once you start a reduction schedule with any drug, you have to keep riding that horse. You can't flip-flop and go back and forth. So I would advise him, being on this crap for so long, 4 to a 6 month reduction schedule. A 4 to a 6 month reduction schedule. But, you know, I mean, he's going to have to kind of figure that out with a pharmacist or just on your own. You know, there's no law against that. Because I'm not licensed in the state of Iowa, I can't tell you how to do that. If you were my patient in a state in which I was licensed to prescribe these drugs, I could tell you how to do that, but I can't. But a pharmacist can, and quite frankly, you can figure it out yourself. But I would do it over the course of 6 months, but I wouldn't start until July, after he's been, you know, fully on board with the Youngevity stuff. Now,
that's going to be the difficult part.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. He's been watching me take it, though. I've been doing the stuff and been doing well. Now, here's my biggest question. I'm wondering if the CM Plus might not help him.
Well, the CM Plus would help, but it would be in a less than efficient manner, right?
Yeah.
The CM Plus just knocks down inflammation.
Well,
The
you know
CM Plus doesn't get to the root cause of the inflammation, and that's what we're all about here. We have to give his body nutritional support. Now, if he's a hard sell and he doesn't want to do any of it, then just give him 3 bottles of the plant-derived minerals. 3 bottles of the plant-derived minerals, and have him do 1 ounce 3 times a day. We're talking to Danny from Illinois right now. Hey, Danny, are you still with me?
Yes. Good afternoon, Dr. Glidden.
Okay, so what's going on, man?
Okay, I'll be fast because I know the time. So I'm calling for my dad, and obviously my father-in-law. My dad is 69 years old, weighs 225 pounds, is 5'4" tall. He has bad knees. His doctor's response is a knee replacement. High blood pressure. That medication is Benazepril HCTZ, as well as a hearing aid.
Great.
I'd like to know what we can do for him, and is that before, with, or after a meal?
All right, so the high blood pressure and the bad knees are 2 arms of the same octopus. The most common cause of a high blood pressure is a lack of calcium and a lack of magnesium in the body. Sometimes high blood pressure is related to a kidney issue, but the majority of the time high blood pressure is caused by not enough calcium and not enough magnesium. It's one of the easiest things in the world to support and promote the structure and function of your circulatory system. You know, when knees or joints or shoulders or, you know, any joint in the body starts to go south, it's getting bad. The joint is getting bad, not because time is going by, not because of a voodoo curse, and not because of a bad joint gene. It's because his joints have run out of the nutrients they need to repair themselves and to maintain their structure and integrity. No different really than if your automobile engine runs out of oil. It's going to seize. There's nothing mechanically wrong with the engine. It just ran out of oil, right? So the problem here is that even if he had surgery, the surgery wouldn't address the nutritional deficiencies. So a couple of years after the surgery, then the other knee would start to go bad, or the little post that they put down into his tibia would start to wiggle around because it's continuing to lose, his bones are just continuing to lose their structural integrity. Now, it's interesting, you know, because there are 10 foods that we've discovered that people just shouldn't eat at all, and the reason that they shouldn't eat them is in large part to do because of the inflammatory stuff that they create. There's also a category of food that specifically targets bones and joints, and that's any type of soda pop, anything that has phosphoric acid in it. So anybody that has any type of an arthritic condition shouldn't even look at any type of soda pop whatsoever. They just shouldn't even look at it. I don't know how much Coke or ginger ale or any of that stuff that he drinks, but if he drinks any of it, he's got to stop it because that's just an extra added insult to his body. Okay, so number one, eliminate the 10 bad foods. Number two, eliminate any type of soda pop that has phosphoric acid in it. Number three, start to get on board with nutritional supplements to support and promote healthy bones and joints and healthy blood pressure. And that's easy. I would give him 2 original formula healthy bone and joint packs. 2 original formula healthy bone and joint packs. And 1 bottle of Beyond Osteo FX liquid. 2 original formula healthy bone and joint packs and 1 bottle of Beyond Osteo FX liquid. Now, Danny, how'd you hear about this radio show?
My wife Nora called in about a week ago.
All right.
So through her boss.
Okay, so the way that this works, right, is we have representatives, Youngevity representatives all around the world who have gotten on board with us and become Youngevity distributors and Youngevity members, and we've taught them the ropes, so to speak, and so you want to go through them to get the nutritional supplements, and if you do it that way, you'll get the stuff at the wholesale price. And the person who turned you on to this ultimately will be able to tell you how to take the stuff, when to take it, and how to do that, because that stuff's all easy, breezy, lemon squeezy. And that's how this works, right? Everybody leans on everybody else in this giant grassroots family. So get back with your wife's boss, and they'll be able to hook you up with this stuff. And give me a shout in about.
And this amount is per month.
Yes,
for the next 90 days?
Correct. It's per month, once a month.
With, before, or after a meal? For
the next 90 days. The Youngevity distributor will be able to tell you how to dial that in. All right, Danny, I appreciate the phone call. Thanks again, folks. We're out of time. God willing and the creek don't rise. See you tomorrow.